dad dash here. So I wanted to go over, and here we go. We're going to get to see some differences here. I want to go over some differences between iPhone and Android live time. So one of the first ones you're going to see here is address. So as you can see, I click that, but if I click this, well, it's going to, you're seeing another difference right there. But if I click that address, and hopefully one will come through that I'll be able to demonstrate this on, that doesn't have, maybe I'll turn off my auto decline. I think I'm going to do that, since you guys just saw the auto decline features. Turn that off for the moment, so that way I can have the time when something comes through to show you. But I want to show you guys the main differences, because there are some differences between having an Android and iOS. Now, what I recommend, one thing I'm going to let you know, is you can be logged in on both devices. So if you want to experience the best of both worlds, and there is differences in both worlds that are going to that can help you, I'm going to show you some of these differences, and you can actually use both of them. Now, what I recommend you do is when you go on order, go offline on one of them. So if you prefer to use iPhones, or you find iPhone works best for you, then complete the order with the iPhone. If you like the Android experience, complete it with the Android. I personally will go with the Android experience, and I'll show you a few differences that why I like using the Android handset better. But having two handsets up, being able to utilize and have the best of both worlds is really nice at my fingertips, because there are some things you can do on either one that you can't do on the other. So the first major difference is this. All right, so you're going to notice there's a huge difference here. The address here, you can see, and I have it blurred out, but end of destination address is my house. And you can see I have it turned on this dash, although I'm not actually leaving my house. I just had it turned on for demonstration purposes. Over here on Android, nothing, it's not there. Over here on iOS, you can see it's available. And what that will do is at 1:43 p.m., it's going to pop over and give me an option. Let's say I was far away at the other end of my area. It's going to start trying to find me orders going in the direction of that address. So you can set it for a restaurant. You could set it if you like, say you were going somewhere, you're going to a restaurant to go eat, you're going to a place to run an errand, whatever it is you're planning to do at the end of your dash, they make it really convenient, and it will allow you to earn money on your way there. And you can decide when you get those offers, they're normally not going to be the best offers in terms of miles to money, but since you're already driving those miles, the idea would be, well, you're getting paid something to drive the miles you'd be going anyways. And sometimes you get really good orders. I use it. I like it. It's really, I will log into my iPhone towards the end of I'll log in at the beginning, but I'll make sure I'm logged in looking for orders on my iPhone at the end of the time if I'm in a situation where I want to find orders on the way home. It's a very nice perk. Another great reason to have both iPhone and Android if you can do it. And everybody really can do it. You just got to find an affordable route to get there. So that's difference number one. So let's go in here and go back out. So we're going to wait a little bit and we'll see when an order comes through. And I'll show you. Now the other difference, actually, I guess I can go ahead and show you some of the differences while we're waiting on an order. So iPhone. iPhone's pretty vanilla. You swipe up, you're out. You swipe in, you're out. Everything's manual. Find your cameras, your secondary cameras, your time cameras, all that is going to be. So everything is manual. It's pretty, it's swipes, whatever. Now, this is where Android starts to really take off, in my opinion. You can customize a Samsung phone. This is specific for Samsung. This is not Pixels, OnePlus devices, any of the other ones. This is specific to Samsung, which is why I believe Samsung really has a great deal. When you combine it with Driver Utility Helper app, and you combine it with the ability to modify and customize your phone, you get really a very, very powerful device. And if you understand the features you want to use off of an iPhone, you can use those when it makes sense, and so on and so forth. But here we go. So let me show you some of the things that you can do here. So number one, first thing I do, I long swipe over, and I'm going to get my camera. Now this camera, I use this instead of the Driver Utility Helper camera. And I do that simply because I like the ability for it to float, which you could technically make the driver utility helper camera float, but it's a couple extra steps. But I also like the fact that it has the map overlays on there. It has the address, and you can slide it over like this. So when I get to the customer's house, I'm going to hit record, and then I'm going to slide it over, and then there's my camera picture. So now that I can take my picture, and I don't have to, I can keep the app up. I can see everything I need to see. I can read all the instructions. I can see the address. I can be double checking the address. I have all that up. When I get up there, I just take the picture, done. All right, picture's done. And then I can just slide it over and exit out of the video camera. And then the video's over. And then I can go ahead and click the button to close out the order. So I can go click, 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 attach the camera, and I'm done. So that is really, really helpful to have when you're pulling up to the customer's house and you just, well, actually, I got to long swipe it. Long swipe it, and it pops up anywhere. So as soon as I get there to the customer's house, normally when I'm pulling up, I'll reach over and I'll long swipe, and this will pop up. And there you can see it right there from anywhere you go. The other thing is you're seeing there's different swipes and gestures and things I have. So I like to log. So to make my logging process easier, as you can see, quick swipe up at the top gets me to my spreadsheets. So there it is. You can see, swipe up at the top. I'm into my spreadsheets. Whatever spreadsheet I'm working with last is always at the top. All right, here we go. It's game time. So let me show you some differences here. So first thing I'm going to show you is on the iPhone, any iPhone user out there, you tap on the house. It's going to be a house, apartment, different things. You tap in.
Incoming order from McDonald's. Total miles 1.6. Current price $4.25. Price per mile $2.66.
All right, and now watch what you can do on this. This is what makes it really extremely powerful. So now I can see 6 minutes, right? And I can see exactly where I'm at. Now the McDonald's is right here, so I kind of know it's all there. I'm going to go ahead and hit decline. Now that would have normally declined, automatically declined, because it would have been under $5. Now if you're working an iPhone, with an iPhone, you can just swipe back out, and there it is, and now you're back in. So whatever one you do the decline on, you will swipe back out. It's much easier to do the decline on the Android if you're running an Android and an iPhone, because all you do is swipe up out of the iPhone, and it'll come back in, and the order will be cleared. On the Android, because of how it does things, you can sometimes get into a loop where you got that declined order. It won't leave your screen unless you clear your cache. And honestly, these are the little tips you got to learn. That's just how Android's going to be. So don't battle it, right? Just remember to do the decline on the Android. Since auto decline is already set up, a majority of your declines are going to happen on Android anyways. Do all of your accepts. Do all of your declines on the Android device, because the same thing can happen if you accept on, say, the Apple device, but the Android device doesn't get the accept, and then it can go into a death loop where you're going to be stuck and you're going to be swiping. And if your preference is to use the Android device because of some of the little things I showed you there, the swipes and the things, man, you're going to be cooked. So now, the other thing that I like, right, and this is another reason why I like the Android, is because what I can do now, this is only on the foldables, but there is some of the functionality I'm going to show you is also available on the on other Androids. So what I like to do is I like to do split screen. Now let's just do it the easy way. So I'm going to do split screen. Maps. So normally what I would do is I would have my map screen up, and then I would minimize the app, so I'd be able to see my app, where I'm going, what's going on. Something else comes through or offers, right? It's going to be right over here. And then I would have my directions running right over here. But this is how I will do it. And I'll run my directions over here because I will have already popped this into the directions. So I'll run this and I'll leave this out. And then that way I can see if an add-on comes, it's going to come right over here. If I want to check out another app, if you click into whatever side you click into, your swipes are going to coincide. So if I hit login over here and then I go ahead and click it, it's going to put me over here. Now you're going to watch right over here where it should update. We've got a $6.77 offer. Now this is another little cool feature you're going to see here. you're going to notice there's a delay, right? Over here, we've got the iPhone going off. Now it comes in, right? Now watch this.
Incoming order from Taco Bell. Total miles 4.4. Current price $6.77. Price
So
per mile
instantaneously,
$1.54.
right over here, if you had this screen on and you were just using one app, you could have your apps are going to pop through over here, especially if you're using like Maxymo, and then you can tap in Brandenburg Drive. Now there's 9 seconds left, and you can see exactly everywhere you need to go. Now watch, remember, decline over here, and there you can go and say, well, no, I don't like that order. And then swipe up over here, kill the Dasher app over here, and go back in. Okay, here we go. Two McDonald's orders, $8, 2.9 miles. Here we go. So you can see there's a little bit of a delay, as you can see each time. So orders are coming in. So now we have a double
order from McDonald's with multiple stops. Total miles 2.9.
And again, I'm going to demonstrate. And this is the most powerful feature
$2.76
that you can have, okay, on here. And it looks like this is the order we had before. So this must be a no-tip order. This is the no-tip order. They put it together. The no-tip order and the McDonald's order. We saw that live. And there you can see from where I'm at. So it would be a drop off here, and then really what you'd be looking at is the total miles over here time-wise. So how much time does it take to get there? 3 minutes to go from to this address, because that's from over there. But then the real answer is, well, how long does it take me to get there? Which is 6 minutes. So I'd be able to know this was a 12-minute order, and technically speaking, it probably would be an order if it was a single order that could easily be done with no problem. But if that's a stack order, I'm not doing a stack order $8 ever. Especially knowing the interiors of that order, it's just not going to happen. Although in theory, that could be okay order, because if both orders were ready at McDonald's, you're dropping one off in the parking lot of McDonald's. That's basically being dropped off at Walmart. The other one is coming back over here towards my house. It's a 12-minute roundabout. For me, if I'm going to be doing this searching, I'm going to normally have, or you could just do a perfect split. But normally what I will do is I will have the app over here. Now, you say, okay, well, what happens if I don't have a foldable, Steve? What are we doing, Dad Dash? You know, like, do I have the ability to do all that? And the answer to that question is yes. So let me show you what that looks like. Slide it up, maps, and this is the recommended way of doing it there. Put the apps at the bottom of your screen. So if you're doing DoorDash, you're going to put the apps at the bottom of your screen, and that way you could see, that way when an order comes through, and hopefully one will come through, I can show you exactly what that looks like as well. So these are the main things that are different. There's also some differences here. If you look at this. Now, why am I not getting deliveries? I want to show you this. It says, why am I not getting deliveries? Why am I not getting orders? This will tell you your area is slow. This will tell you the app is working. Continue to your hotspot, right? Now, there's also one other little thing that you get. And in this, you get, you go into this screen and you go to settings, okay? Now this, you have to get a home. Test your network settings out here and see what your internet connection is. You can also do your floating widget, and let me show you, see if that pops up here. I think it should. Nope, only if you're on an order. So basically the floating widget is going to be if I'm on an order, if you're on an order, or let's say I'm not on an order, I'll show you if a offer comes through. Then what will happen is a widget will pop up there. It's like, it'll look like a little floater. Anyways, it will look just like this little widget right here, okay? And that widget is going to be red. And then what happens is when you click into that one, it just opens up the app. But instead what it'll do is it'll have an actual little pop-down menu, and it'll show you all of the order information. It'll show, and it does that constantly throughout the order. So you could be in your camera app taking a picture if you were using that instead of doing the pop-up overlay like I do. You could just go right in there, and the pop-up is going to come right up. You could click it. You'll see your address. You'll see your items. You'll see that, and it'll also show you that information. Now, it used to also show you subtotal information, which was kind of an advantage, but they took that away when they stopped showing out the subtotal information. And that was kind of a little advantage to the Android user, because you could easily pop in and see that by just exiting the DoorDash app, checking out what the subtotal was, and going back in. And it also gives you the ability to re-enter the the DoorDash app at any place, anytime. So that's a helpful little trick right there that Android provides you. All right, so guys, hopefully you enjoyed the little demo today. And look, I wanted to leave you with this. This was kind of a broad overview. There's a lot of other things that you can do with an Android device that I think really is exceptional and makes it a great device for gig workers. iPhone is a great device too. I'm not saying you can't do it, but it's just there's a lot of things, and I'll probably do a video that's more specific to the Android workflow that I use when I'm using my Androids. But I think there's a great case to be made about using both of these. And if you're interested, one way I think would be an easy way, because I know the question is going to be, if you're an iPhone user right now, you're going to say, hey, it's hard for me to afford an Android device. And if you're an Android user and you want to get an iPhone, you're going to say, well, it's hard for me to afford an Apple device. And what I would recommend you guys do is, if you're looking to get into the iPhone range, look for, say, an iPhone 12 right now. They're running great deals on the carriers on those. They're also running great deals on renewed iPhone 12s on Amazon or eBay. Those are a great device to get into if you're an Android user looking to have it. iPhone 12 minis are great. The SE3 is a great one if you can find a good deal on it. But if you're an iPhone user, then there's an easy way for you to get into the Android and to get a quality Android device very easily and inexpensively. And that is, go on to eBay, buy a device sub $200, probably $150. You can get an S20 right now if you look hard for around $200. You can get the S20 FE for sub $200. Go into eBay, look for a sub $200 Android device, and then what you can do is trade it into your carrier. So if you're on any major carrier, doesn't matter what carrier it is, they're all going to be running great deals on trade-ins. And a lot of times when a Android device comes out, they're going to be giving you up to $1,000 trade-in credit. So you spend $150 and get $1,000 trade-in credit. Now, in the meantime, you pick up this device. What I would recommend you do, if you're an iPhone user, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. So instead of jumping in and buying a big device or investing in a device, go out, spend $150 to $200 on a phone. What I would recommend you do, set aside, $10, $15, $20 a dash. You can do it in 10 dashes, right? And then you can have your Android phone saved up. Set it aside like you would for your gas, your taxes, whatever. If it needs to be less, whatever, set it aside. Once you get your money there, go in, buy your phone, right? And then use your hotspot. Don't add any lines or do anything, because you're going to need to reserve that right for when you want to go buy, if you decide you want to get deeper in. Now, maybe you might be happy with the $150 deal. You've got your driver utility helper. You've got it there sitting on the side, and it's hotspotting and connecting, and you're running some of the features. It's not full featured, but you're getting a good bit of the features, and you're happy with it. That's great. Keep doing that. However, if you fall in love with it and you're like, man, this is great, and you really can see the benefits like I have, and I was an avid iPhone user. I never thought I'd ever drop iPhone for any reason whatsoever or have a room for an Android in my life in any way. Now, personally, I will continue using iPhones, but for gig work, I am Android only. It's kind of weird. But anyways, so what you will be able to do then is take that device and trade it in, and you could get up to $1,000 bill credit if you're an AT&T customer, and you would get essentially a S23 phone if you got that for $100, and it would be 36 billing credits. Now, you might say, well, I got to wait 36 months. Well, listen, your work device should not be the device that you're trading up every single year, okay? This is a work device. This is a device that you're going to use primarily for work. So you should be writing it off, because almost 95% of the usage, and I always do 95%. I never do 100, because there's always a 5% time. You might watch a video, you might do this, and that covers you. But 95% of the cost of that phone is going to be write-offable on your taxes. Now, I'm not a tax advisor or consultant, so advise your tax consultants and all that stuff. This is not tax advice. This is just telling you what I do. So go ahead and purchase that phone. Get your bill credits. You will have taken a $150 investment, flipped it over, and gotten a $1,000 phone out of it. And you have gotten a $1,000 phone for $150 if you follow what I'm saying. Anyways, I'll leave you with that at the end of this video. So hopefully you found this helpful. And if you have, guys, leave a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Check out my other videos on different various Android phones, on different various iPhones that I've used out there. If you're curious about any phones and how they work with gig work, check it out. I've got a whole bunch of videos on it. Anyways, guys, as always, stay safe, stay profitable, and I'll talk to you.